So Nick, what do you say to, like, right now? Well, first of all, wow, right? Um, but what do you say to those individuals that right now they're saying, "I'm not Nick. I'm not. I don't know if that's possible." And right now I'm lost my job. I'm trying to create a new business. People are not believing in me that I can succeed in it. I'm facing all these pressures, and they don't have the mindset you have in the list that you created at 8 years old. What do you tell that person right now that's facing that situation right now?
I will say start to reprioritize as to what is most important in your life. Look at your value set, but also set the parameters as to who you invite into your life. And I'll say this right now. I mean, never be reliant on anybody but yourself, because you are the most qualified, the most unique individual in the world. And what you should be understanding is this: start to realign and reframe the backdrop to your life. It's all about doing more of what you love and doing less of what you hate. Each individual has 3 particular skill sets they are particularly good at, and 3 things in particular they completely suck at. Like me, I already know. I'm a visionary in regards to the ideas. Bring them to market, know how to deploy, and how to find good quarterbacks to run their respective business. I am terrible in operating a particular business, for example. I've done it in the past, but I didn't enjoy it. And the thing is, I know now, I will never do anything that I'm not passionate about. I will only do things that I enjoy. So once again, ask yourself, what brings a smile on your face? What brings a tear to your eyes? And what stimulates you? What's like being able to sort of rate your energy calibration, for example. Map out your energy on an hourly basis, in relation to the tasks that you're undertaking on a daily basis, because then you start to quickly find out what you're most passionate about. So, for example, if there's a particular task that you absolutely despise, make sure you do that task when your energy is high. And if your energy is low, do the tasks that you absolutely love, because what happens is, by default, you're able to marinate that energy back from low energy to high energy because it's something you love doing. That makes sense?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
It's all about sort of prioritizing and reharnessing the strength of your hours on a daily basis. Now, it's this. By setting the parameters as to who you invite to your life, you start to define exactly what you like to do. Now, look, there's a lot of memes, out there, like, hustle, 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 grind, grind, grind. And there's a lot of individuals who are part of the Gary Vaynerchuk type fraternity of like, go hard, hard, hard. Dude, I'm not into that shit. You know what I mean? Look, with all due respect to Gary, he looks about age 65. You know what I mean? My point is this: look after yourself. It's not about those ridiculous fucking memes that you see on Instagram or Facebook where there's an apartment building, and everyone's asleep at 3 o'clock in the morning. There's one apartment with the light on because you're hustling. I don't buy that shit. Five things in your life, the 5 Fs. More fun, more freedom, more fulfillment, and more quality time with your family and your friends. Everything else means shit. It's irrelevant. You are just a caretaker in life. You're just a caretaker. You're just a caretaker. And I'll tell you this right now. You'll never get what you want. You'll never get what you deserve. You'll only get what you negotiate. How bad do you want it? I wrote a book called The 5-Day Weekend. And the 5-day week is all about this: 5 days passive, 2 days active. 2 days active means this: I am in the businesses, working, individuals, my quarterback, seeking my counsel as an advisor, or helping young startups, for example. The 5 days passive, where I fund my lifestyle. Because here's the most important thing: a lot of individuals, if their vocation or employment or their own business is here, their life is in the orbit of their business, and their business basically overrides everything in their life. For me, my life is my planet, and everything must be in the orbit of my life. Because if you don't aerate and ventilate and emotionally purge, you'll never appease yourself, and you become too emotionally oversubscribed to the rest of the world, and you become emotionally subscribed to everybody else. My cell phone, I look at it 3 times a day: 9 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m. After 9, it's a tech detox, Monday to Friday. On weekends, I do not look at inbox. On Sundays, there is no phone at all. It's important that you don't over-obligate yourself to the rest of the world. And going back to what I said, for individuals who need to like reharness as to what is most important in your life, you probably need to understand the reality. Because a lot of individuals don't understand this. And if they don't, they're going to end up in a financial cul-de-sac for the next 2-3 years, pushing the can down the road. You know, it's the tyranny of impoverished thinking, doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different outcome. Listen carefully. No one really gives a shit about you. Your parents are biologically programmed to like you. Your siblings are biologically obligated to like you. Financial advisors will say your products to get the highest commission on. Fund managers, they're not even performance-based. They'll recommend, they'll make money in fees regardless whether you win or lose. Other individuals, you know, will just basically promote anything to you where they make something on the back end, and there's a kicker for them. If you don't take charge now and reassert yourself and sort of control the narrative, and most importantly, don't allow anybody else's opinions to define your reality. And this particular time has been, look, now's the time to just really realign and recalibrate. And it's almost kind of like a control-alt-delete, a reboot. Mm-hmm. And I would say, you know, start eliminating all the negativity. And I'll say this right now. For anybody who wants to go out there and create a new type of enterprise, remember the following. It doesn't take money to make money, but it does take money to actually invest. Right now, don't even think about investing. Look at generating money from something that doesn't require money to get started. For example, whether it's being a consultant or a social media consultant, or basically going out there and, you know, generating business. For example, how many companies right now are going to be more focused on e-commerce or digital, for example? All these offline businesses that were basically literally shut down. You know, I mean, going out there and finding a client or a company or a business or a small business, you know, and charging them $2,000 or $3,000 a month, so you can handle all their what? Their digitizing. Whether they're going to digitize all their what? All their assets of the company, for example. You find 10 clients, that's 30 grand a month. Here's the thing. You don't do any of the work. You find some good virtual assistants. They get it. For example, 10 clients, you can have a team of 20 virtual assistants doing all the what? All the thinking faculty, for example. All you go out there is just find the clients. It doesn't take money to make money. Find your money, generate your money. And then if you want to be, then allocate a percentage of what you're generating towards a passion playbook, for example, or something you're really, really passionate about. But don't follow your passion right now, because if your passion is, you know, 17th century vampire kits or underwater basket weaving or, you know, 15th century wedding dresses, there ain't a market for it. Find where there is a significant demand, specifically in relation to all these small businesses, because right now in America, over 60 million small businesses are being starved of oxygen. What can you do to help them stay afloat? You know, what's the level of buoyancy? Go out there, meet them, talk to them. And I want to just realign a couple of things here, you know. Those who get paid to work for those who get paid to think. Start to realize that the money is in getting paid to think, not getting paid to work. Start to reshape and recalibrate the way you actually approach the modern day world, because in a post-COVID world, things will be very, very different as we know it.
Yeah.
And if you're not already digitizing yourself, you're crazy, you're insane. Which is good. You need to be insane. But you need to be realistic to the point where there is so much business out there, specifically right now. I mean, I'll give an example. Like, even companies are going to have a sanitation manager. Just like there's a human resources manager, there's going to be a sanitation manager. You know, if you open up a sanitation agency, for example, and you certify all these sanitation managers and you deploy them in different businesses, for example, I mean, what are you doing there? You're creating a what? You're creating a need and a service, specifically in the post-COVID world. Perfect example just there. I mean, 5 years ago, there were not such thing as social media managers. But right now, we're going to have sanitation managers. And you can certify them, just like there are companies certifying HR people and then deploying them into companies. Get creative with your thinking. Get innovative.
Man, that's cool. I don't know about you guys. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm a global entrepreneur. I travel. But what you're talking about right now is actions that people can take. People, I mean, I love it because you're speaking straight to the soul of a person. Nick, I mean, what you're talking about is, right now for people who are watching and listening, it's life changing.